Now let's come to the next summit, that is 16th East Asian Summit. All right. Now what is this 16th East Asian Summit? This was recently organized and hosted by which country? So guys, Brunei. Okay, do remember it was hosted by Brunei. Well, generally what happens that the chair country of ASEAN, that means whichever country hosts the annual summits of ASEAN, also host on the sidelines of ASEAN something called as East Asia Summit. All right. So see, India has been an active participant of this particular forum. It saw the participation of how many leaders? So there are 10 member countries of ASEAN, right? Like which countries? Like, let me just try and make a list of it, and I'll just write the initials of those countries. So first country you may remember as Philippines, then we have, let's say, Malaysia, then we have Indonesia, we have Brunei, then we have Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, okay, and then we have Myanmar, Thailand, and Singapore. Okay, so these are the 10 ASEAN members, along with whom the countries like Australia, China, Japan, South Korea, Russia, then USA also participated. It also participates in this particular summit since the year 2017, and also obviously India is a participant country. So just remember which countries are the participants over here. So these members, you should remember. What is the idea, how to remember these particular additional countries? Just remember that in the North Pacific Ocean, United States of America has two strategic allies. First is what we refer to as Japan, and second what we refer to as South Korea. Similarly, in the South Pacific Ocean, USA has two strategic allies. One is what we refer to as Australia, and another one is New Zealand, but that is not the participant over here. So just remember, USA, Japan, South Korea, its two allies in North Pacific Ocean. Then we have this the Australia, which is the strategic ally of USA from the South Pacific Ocean region, and also these particular allies of USA are the allies because of the threat of China and its hegemony rising in this particular region. From there, you have to remember China, and to counter China in this whole region, there is only one country which has that potential, and that country is India. All right. So guys, that's how you can remember all these countries. And then obviously Russia is there. Russia also participates in this particular summit. All right. So what are the key takeaways from this particular summit? So one can remember that these leaders have talked about three statements. One on the mental health, then second, economic recovery through tourism, and third is sustainable recovery, which have been co-sponsored. All three you can say declarations or statements have been supported by India. Then obviously whenever ASEAN summit will happen, or East Asia summit, or such summit will happen where there is a participation of China and other Southeast and South Asian countries, there will be certain common issues which will be discussed over here, like most importantly South China Sea issue, an issue which generally is referred to the dispute of 9-dash line. Guys, just remember this 9-dash line, a line which is the claim line of China, as per which China says that all the economic resources, including fisheries, oil, gas, then let's say gems, okay, which one can find in the marine ecosystem, belongs to China and not to any other country when it comes to South China Sea. Whereas on the contrary, there is a convention known as United Nations Convention on Laws of Sea, which says that any country which has a coastline sharing or contiguous with any sea or ocean, when it calculates an area up to 200 nautical miles, up to 200 nautical miles, not kilometers, but nautical miles. All right, 200 nautical miles. 200 nautical miles, which as per this convention, United Nations Convention on Laws of Sea, this particular region of 200 nautical miles beyond your coastline inside that sea or ocean will be referred to as what? Will be referred to as exclusive economic zone, EEZ. Very important term, exclusive economic zone. Now the problem is in South China Sea, there are exclusive economic zones, you can say, as per this convention, belong to the countries like Taiwan, then Philippines, then we have Indonesia, Brunei, Vietnam, and Laos, PDR. So all these countries have their particular EEZ line, exclusive economic zone line, and most part of it gets, you can say, a kind of overlapped with other countries' EEZ. So there is a dispute with respect to EEZ among the Southeast Asian countries who have their coastline contiguous with South China Sea, and all those disputes are subsumed, or all those lines, EEZ lines, are subsumed by a line, that is 9-dash line, which is a line, you can say, claimed by China, which says that whole South China Sea and along with its resources belongs to China. So obviously, in such kind of summits, the issues like South China Sea and United Nations Convention of Laws of Sea, its rules, regulations to be implemented in world letter spirit, such kind of issues will be common to it. All right. Then obviously issue of terrorism will be raised, because China's biggest ally in the South Asian region is Pakistan, and there is an urge by these countries to force China or to make China understand this fact that it should you can say, try and persuade Pakistan to cut off its ties or to cut off its support to the terrorist organizations. And then the situation in the Korean Peninsula, that is, most importantly, the term is being referred to the situation in North Korea, which now and then you can say keeps on testing its hypersonic missiles or ballistic missiles. Well, one such ballistic missile one should know is Hwasong, which they recently tested. Okay, Hwasong missile, it is a hypersonic ballistic missile tested by North Korea, which is a cause of concern, because every time when they test their ballistic missiles, it is tested in Sea of Japan. So it becomes a very, very important cause of concern for Japan. Now moving ahead, guys, what else they have discussed? They have discussed the issue in Myanmar. Now guys, just here I'm telling you one fact. If in your exam they ask you that ASEAN 5 resolution, that the ASEAN 5 resolution refers to what? ASEAN 5 resolution refers to what? And there are 4 options. So guys, which option you have to select? That option which says restoration of democracy, restoration of democracy in Myanmar. Very importantly, please do remember this. Restoration of democracy in Myanmar. So just remember, I told you about New Delhi Declaration in this session. Both the declaration and objectives of both the declaration. I told you about St. Petersburg Declaration. I told you about Ashgabat Agreement. Now I'm telling you about ASEAN 5 resolution. What is ASEAN 5 resolution? Just remember this. The idea or the resolution taken or passed by the ASEAN 10 countries for restoration of democracy in which country? Myanmar. Myanmar. Okay, Myanmar. All right. So these were the key facts that one can remember from that summit. What else one can remember about East Asia Summit? In which year it was formed? It was formed in the year 2005. Which are the member countries? Now you can include New Zealand. I've already told you which countries you have to remember. India is the founding member of East Asia Summit, that you have to remember. What is the significance? Just to give you a brief understanding, no need to remember these facts. They are not asked in your exam, but just have a brief idea to give you importance of this particular summit, that the members of East Asia Summit together represent 54% of the world population and account for 58% of the global GDP. That is the importance of this particular forum. Then there are 6 priority areas of this particular cooperation, of this particular forum, where the framework is discussed. First is environment and energy. Second is, guys, what we call as education. Third is what we call as finance. Then fourth is what we refer to as global health issues and the pandemic diseases. Then the fifth one is natural disaster management. And the fifth and the sixth and one of the most important dimension over here is the regional connectivity in ASEAN. All right. Now I'm giving you another homework which you must refer today itself, and that is RCEP. Which countries have adopted, or which countries are the part of one of the biggest common markets which were established in recent years, and that is RCEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. And you must know the answer of a specific question, that why India backed off, or walked out of this particular forum. Okay, why India withdrew itself from signing or ratifying Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. All right.